welcome. My name is Mercedes and this is Little Flower Homestead, where my husband Jake and we moved in back in 2019, and we are currently raising our 6 living children here on a half-acre lot in town in central Minnesota in Zone 4B. So it's a little different to be homesteading in town. There's a little bit more rules and regulations, so we can't have farm animals unless you live on at least a 1-acre lot. So we don't have any farm animals, unfortunately, other than a little black bunny named not Penelope, that's my daughter's name, named Avril. She's a cute little black Polish bunny, just a little thing we got for Bernadette's birthday last year. And yeah, this page is just going to be talking about our life and how we're doing homesteading in town, raising our family in the Catholic faith, and how we handle just life, I guess, and this homesteading lifestyle. You know, we're going to be talking about fermenting, we're going to talk about gardening, talking about medicinal plants. I am not a medical professional, so any advice that I am giving is strictly just from my own personal experience, from people who are actually out there doing it, like Doc Jones. He is a naturopath and he was a vet for 30 years, and I'm actually enrolled in his course at the Homestead Academy, and he actually has a YouTube page too. That's actually how I stumbled upon him and have been learning about all of this herbalism and how to apply it to our family, because back in, I think it was 2021, back in the height of the pandemic, and trying to not rely so much on the medical system, and even before that, when my eyes started getting a little bit more awake to the things that are going on around us, our 2 oldest sons, Luca and James, they were enrolled in public school, and James had been diagnosed with ADHD, and so we had gotten him on the not traditional, but the mainstream pharmaceuticals for ADHD, and he started having some side effects. So I went back to our pediatrician and asked, there's got to be something else here, because of a way that she had described his ADHD medication. But that's a whole nother topic we can talk about on another day. So yeah, we're going to be talking about herbalism and plants and our food sources and how it's actually medicine, and weird that's how God planned it, and God knew that we'd get sick, and he's like, hey, here's a way to help you out while you're living life. So yeah, we are expecting baby number 8 in October. And some of you might be wondering, how did you go from 6 to 8? We unfortunately did have a miscarriage back in November with our little Francis. And so that will be another topic that I'll definitely be talking about. It's something I've been getting more open about, because I don't see enough people talking about miscarriages and how the Catholic Church handles it, because we are Catholic. So that'll be another topic that we'll be sharing here online, is how we live our Catholic faith, what the Catholic teaches, feast days, the food that we're going to be cooking in preparation for those feast days. I'm trying to get better at it. The one I have solidly down is St. Lucy's feast day. We make little eyeballs out of, I think it's Italian meringues that I make it out of. Definitely a meringue, I know that. But yeah, we make eyeballs. So we go a little memento mori on the celebration instead of the traditional like sweet rolls, cinnamon rolls, and then how the children wear her crown of candles around her head. So, but yeah, so we'll be talking about Francis and the miscarriage. We're actually going to be burying baby Francis coming up this week. On Tuesday, we'll be out at the cemetery with our priest, Father Scott, and having our own little burial for baby Francis. We know that we don't need to do the whole funeral because of the circumstances that go with a miscarriage, which I'll definitely want to be talking about, and how our family handled the miscarriage, how we're still handling it, how Christ really just was there and wrapped me up. And how Our Lady was there and how she helped as well in her comfort as a mother to us when Christ gave us to her on the cross. Yeah, we'll be talking about, I want to talk about fermenting. That's how I got into the whole kombucha. Kombucha was my first fermentation that I got into. So I definitely want to talk about that, sharing delicious concoctions on the different flavors for kombucha, talking about shrub, talking about sourdough, talking about fresh milled grain. That's something that I want to get into. I tried it last summer, didn't have the patience for it. I'm hoping this year I'm a little, a year older, a year wiser, a year hopefully more patient, learning new tricks. I'm watching YouTube videos all the time, trying to learn better ways on how to help raise our family and how to keep them healthy. And fresh milled grain is definitely something I want to open up our family to. So talking about bulk produce buying, we do order from Azure Standard from time to time, but kind of our number one place to go is actually pretty local to us. It's out in Foley. It's about 30 minutes, not even, I think it's like 20 minutes from us. And there's a little discount grocery store. And that's another thing I want to talk about is we don't always have to be buying beautiful food. There's still great food out there that's not beautiful, that's like your seconds. And that's what Nick and Drew's kind of gets in. It's a discount grocery store where you can buy bulk produce. I'm not sponsored in any way. But then what do I do with that bulk produce? I freeze a lot of it, like I just did this past week and a half. We got a bunch of peaches in. Wasn't planning on buying peaches at Nick and Drew's. I was gonna go to the fruit truck, if you guys know what that is. But yeah, Nick and Drew's, we walked in there looking for bananas and strawberries, and we walked out with strawberries and peaches in bulk, which was good. So a lot of it's been frozen, and we're gonna use it in multiple different ways. Probably a lot of peach crisps I can see in my future, because I made that for my husband, and now it's a favorite of his that he asks for a lot. Just in the last week, he's asked for it 3 times. So it's good, it's all good. So yeah, we have, like I said, we have 6 children. So Luca is our oldest, he's 11. Then we have James, who's 9, and he'll be turning 10 here in just a couple short months. He is my birthday baby, I call him. His birthday is August 15th and mine is August 12th. So he was my birthday gift. And then we have Bernadette, who is our oldest daughter. She just turned 7. And then we have the twins, Leonardo and Franklin. We call them Leo and Frankie, and they're 5. They'll be 6 in just less than 2 weeks. And then we have little Miss Penelope, who is 3, and she'll be 4 in September, right before baby number 8 arrives. So it's all very exciting. They have been nonstop praying for their little sister growing in my belly. They have been giving her so many kisses, and it's beautiful to see how much they're just so excited for their little sister, and the love that they have for her, and the prayers that they've been just pouring over her. It's been a very beautiful, loving experience. Sometimes a little annoying, because they do love to kiss and squeeze and love on the belly. They're very loving. They're very nurturing. There's gonna be a lot of fighting when she arrives, I can tell. I told my husband that it's gonna be them fighting and being like, no, it's my baby. No, it's my turn to hold the baby. It's my turn. And we do have a name picked out for her. I'm not gonna say it yet. We will find out when she arrives. But I also want to share that story of how her name came to me during Mass at Bernadette's First Communion back in May. A lot of personal stories will be shared as far as faith experiences go, when it is appropriate, when probably like feast days come up, like with guardian angels and All Saints, and yeah, you know, we have lots of feast days as Catholics. We are always celebrating someone, something. It's a beautiful thing, this faith, that I've gotten to learn about over the years. And that's another thing, is sharing about my faith journey. Coming into my faith as a teenager, being raised as the only practicing Catholic in my family, still to this day at 34, learning things about the Catholic faith I didn't know, because I'm learning it on my own. Well, now obviously with my husband, but growing up it was all on my own. And the church taught me most of it, and so did like our religious leaders, you know, the confirmation teachers, my class teachers that we had for religious classes, because my grandparents didn't practice faith. I basically was raised in almost an atheistic household. And so that'll be another really fantastic topic to talk about. I love talking about my faith. I love talking about the Catholic Church. It's amazing. It's such a beautiful, profound, humbling faith that is really just a beautiful experience. What else? There's, you know, going on garden tours of our backyard and our front yard, because our neighbor last year we had a mix-up in the delivery box, and a friend of mine had sent her box here and it had gone to a neighbor's house instead. And so she went over there and picked it up, and he was like, "Oh, your house," thinking she was me, was like, "Oh, your house is the house with the big gardens and all the children, right?" She's like, yeah. So I think that's really funny that that's what my neighbors think of my house, is the one with the big gardens and all the children, which, yeah, to the secular world, 6 children is a lot of children, but in the grand scheme of things, it's really not. And that's going to be a fun conversation to have as well, is what the world has said about children and the rearing of children, and, you know, and talking about natural family planning, which is what we do. We don't use artificial contraception, so that'll be a great conversation as well. I love talking about NFP and just the natural way that our body is designed. I think that's a beautiful thing, you know. God made a reason for everything, and natural family planning is one of those things that fits in perfectly to his plan, and it goes off of your life circumstances, how you and your husband are doing, how your children are doing. It goes off of all of that. And it's just listening to what the call of God is. Sometimes it's stressful. It is. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it's really hard. And other seasons, it can be much easier and much more fun. But yeah, talking about, you know, when we get seeds in, and talking about the seeds that we're planting, or just the plants that we're planting, the bulbs, talking about, yeah, just different things, different topics. You know, let me know what you guys want to talk about. I'm open to almost pretty much anything. Again, I'm not here to argue with people. I'm just here to have good conversations and to share our life of what it's like living in central Minnesota as practicing Catholics, raising Christ-fearing, Christ-loving children, and being open to life, and learning about the medicine around us and how we can just better live our lives to glorify Christ. Yeah, so let me know what you guys are thinking out there, and until next time. Oh, that's the other thing, is I'm not sure how long or how often I'll be posting. I'm hoping to get up at least once a week, but that's if I remember to record, since this is kind of all new as far as the YouTube sphere. I am on Instagram, so you can follow me over there. I don't post a ton of videos. I mainly post in my stories. But yeah, so until next time, Auspice Maria, and may God bless you. Bye.